right now we're going to focus on our guest. And before we bring Bill Tompkins on, we're going to take a look at a video. Wow, that's a great video there, Bill, and welcome to WIN TV.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Bill Tompkins, President and CEO of the Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, who accepted the position in August. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Okay, doke. So I like that. You know, your theme, what is it? Move. I forgot the words already.
Think, move, grow, come to Montgomery County.
Why? Why should people think, move, and grow and come to Montgomery County?
Well, we're all fortunate to be in the DMV. I grew up here, as you did, and it's a great region no matter where you are. But when it comes to doing business and living where you do business, Montgomery County has it all. It's not just because we're the most highly educated population group in the DMV, one of the wealthiest in the country. The resources that are here are just unbelievable. And it's not just about the businesses that are here. You know, a lot of people don't realize that we're the hospitality capital of the world. You've got Marriott, Sodexo, Choice Hotels, all right in downtown Bethesda. We've got life sciences companies, and many of the life sciences companies that helped us through the pandemic are based or have significant assets right here in the county. We're also a great green space, parks, housing. It's not just about doing business here, it's the environment that you're in. And what I think is incredibly special is that we are the most diverse county in the region and one of the most diverse places in the United States. A lot of people don't know over 150 languages are spoken in the public school system here because there are that many residents from all over the world right here in Montgomery County. So there's a good chance that when you walk down the street, you're going to see someone who looks like you. And that makes it more inclusive. We believe we're an equitable place. Yes, we're pretty liberal, but that's a good thing. So we have something for everybody, not just a great business environment and the resources to go with it, but a great environment to, as a lot of people say, live, work, and play.
Let me jump in, Bill, because, you know, like you said, growing up in the DC area, and it's interesting because when Chocolate City was truly Chocolate City,
right?
As it began to transition, a lot of folks went south to Prince George's County. Mm-hmm. Montgomery County, and I want you to correct me or set the record straight with what I'm about to say, but because so many Black-owned businesses went south, I don't know if there was, if it was a PR thing or if it was some perception about Montgomery County, how we could get more, why a lot of those businesses didn't go, I guess that would be northwest of the district. So mm-hmm. explain that to me and what you think maybe you all may need to overcome as it relates to the perception of Montgomery County in order for businesses to feel like, you know, if they come there, it's a great place to go. It's a great choice.
Sure. So if you look back 30 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer, Montgomery County was 95% white. And it was known as an affluent suburb, very homogenous. One of the things that drove businesses south, let's say into Prince George's County, were everything from housing costs to certain government agencies that moved out there early. The Census Bureau, it attracted a lot of people moving across the border. And Montgomery County was sitting here, I don't want to say fat, dumb, and happy, but definitely only paying attention to themselves and not too worried about growth. What's happened over time is that as people woke up, they said, wait a minute, there is a lot here. And part of that is because of the educational system that's here. We've caught up. We've got 18 federal agencies that are headquartered here. And that creates a base. You know, everybody thinks the federal government is all downtown DC. 18 of those agencies are right here. And that creates an infrastructure. We've got one of the best school systems in the country. And you keep adding that up and people start paying more attention to us being more than just a suburb. We're a place of action, but we're really a place of commerce. That if you have a dream, you can come here and do it. If you're an entrepreneur, you come here and do it. And part of what we are doing, especially going forward, is doing more promotion. We tended to take ourselves for granted and not talk a lot about why it made sense to be here or why it was great to be here. But as we move forward, and this is part of my vision going forward, we've got to constantly promote and compete where people can see us and hear from us.
I think it's great. I mean, the other part to that, though, is now that we're post-COVID, well, not really post-COVID, because every single day I'm hearing about somebody else that's, you know, that's
right.
got COVID. But at any rate, you know, I know the mayor of the District of Columbia is talking about the impact that COVID has had on the downtown area with companies workers not coming back. And so we got all these empty buildings. How did COVID impact Montgomery County? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. We were all impacted, but a little bit better insulated for a couple of reasons. Number one, when you look at some of our key industries, like life sciences, you really need people to be at work, at their labs, at their research facilities. And so the vacancy rate was still pretty high, but probably half of what it is in the district. And we've recovered fairly well. I would also say that in terms of the supply and demand of space that was available, I think we're in much better shape because there is so much building that was going on in DC, and still is, by the way, that you had lots of extra space. While we have the 18 federal agencies, the ones that are here need more people to be at work, whether it's NIH, whether it's the FDA, huge facilities. But we were definitely impacted. And our recovery has been pretty good, but we're not back at 100%. I just looked at the unemployment rate. The region is doing pretty well. We're down around 3.4%, which is great. That's almost like no unemployment. So I think the bounce back has been terrific. What nobody knows is what the long-term effect, and I'm talking about 2024, 2025, is going to be on the commercial real estate market. And that's partly supply and demand. That's partly shrinkage. You mentioned that the mayor, in fact, I was reading about this, is sort of saying, well, look, if you're not going to use these offices for work, turn them into housing. Now, practically speaking, it doesn't work that well because there are different requirements, different zoning requirements. Buildings are built in certain ways that you can't just switch it over as easily as people would like. But it's something that we're keeping an eye on at the same time, because I think the federal shrinkage, and anybody who's running a business is going to look at how much space they really need. And I think when we have one of your guests come on who talks about emotional intelligence and playing in, none of us know where we feel comfortable in terms of coming back to work or this hybrid work environment. I think it is going to be a big mix for a long time, but where there are problems, there are also opportunities to create other business resources that satisfy a more mobile workforce.
I know you're here to open the door wide to invite anybody that has a business and is looking for a location to base their business to Montgomery County. But are there any key areas that you think the opportunities are best for certain businesses? What are some of the key areas?
We've got key areas no matter where you want to go.
Okay.
Whether it's Bethesda, whether it's downtown Silver Spring, whether it's Germantown, Maryland, whether it's Wheaton. We just built a huge new quasi-government office facility in downtown Wheaton, a 14-story tower. It depends on what you want. Some people don't realize that over a third of the geographic area in Montgomery County is part of the agricultural reserve. And it adds a really different and special feeling to the county in terms of lots of open space. And it's not just about farmland. There are probably more vineyards and breweries in Montgomery County than anywhere else in the close-in region. You got to go way out to Loudoun or Prince William, where there are a lot of those. But think about it, whether you want to do that or whether you want to have a hair cuttery, we've got a place for you. And we are very agnostic about where people go because it is such a diverse county. And we've got Metro here, absolutely. We've got sites along the Potomac River. We've got the urban environments. If you want to go to Restaurant Row, you can do that in Silver Spring. You can do that in Wheaton. You can do that in Bethesda. And from my point of view, you don't need to worry about whether there's something here for you. We do have it all. Big businesses, small businesses. We've got about 33,000 businesses here. Wow. 30,000 of them are small businesses. So that tells you something. It means if they're able to survive and thrive here, anybody can.
So there's so much I would want to ask, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but for businesses that, may even need assistance, right?
Financial assistance.
Real estate, trying to figure out where to right. locate their businesses, financial assistance, or just even if there are, what do I want to call them? Certain programs
sure.
That, particularly for minority-owned businesses, that allow the government to do business with them. I don't know. We don't use the word set aside. That's illegal. No. We can't talk about that. But just certain programs that are available to just right. make sure that there's opportunities. And do they come to see you?
They come to one of two places.
Okay.
They come to thinkmoco.com, which is Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation, and we have everything on that website. We even have a special section for small businesses. We have a section on how to start a business, how to grow a business, how to expand. We are a public-private partnership, so we are independent of Montgomery County government, but we represent them. We are their partner. And if you don't come to us, you can just as easily go to the Montgomery County Business Center, which is their business portal. And what you'll see on both is that we cross-reference each other all the time. We're probably on every other page so that they're referring people back to us. And what we say is that there's no door that's the wrong door. Any door you come into Montgomery County, whether you go directly to the government, to the business portal, or whether you come to us at thinkmoco.com, we'll take care of you.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I guess what I was referring to sometimes, the government does a lot of business and contracting, with small businesses, and so that's what I wanted to
right. So so on the Montgomery County website, there is a special area around procurement.
Okay.
And there's a very specific program where preferences are given not only to underserved communities, but also to businesses who actually are already here. So you get points, you get a discount. And, it's a pretty robust budget, but that's very similar to what other jurisdictions do. We have a very strong program. If you want to do business with the government, we have that set up mostly, and it's through our procurement site. They've got an orientation session. They have open houses, I think once a month. So it's very easy to find out, and there are lots of ways to qualify.
So before we close, since August, I don't want to ask you what keeps you awake at night. I want to ask, what would you like to see as the president and CEO that would let you sleep well at night? What is your vision for Montgomery County?
Our vision is for people, when they think about the DMV, they don't ask, what's that suburb called? It's like, we want to be in Moco. And the more people say, oh, yes, and are shaking their heads, like you started this off with this being a great year, having great conversations. When people go shake their head, yes, I know about Montgomery County. I've been there. I want to be there. I want to be next in terms of success. When I hear that walking down the streets, then I will sleep even that much better at night.
Wonderful. Bill Tompkins, thank you very much for being with us. We're going to talk to you some more, in the weeks and months ahead, because we do want to make sure that our readers, especially, get to know more about Montgomery County and your office and what you all are making available, to the business community. And just a hint for those who are listening, we do our annual African American Heritage Tour. And so we want to talk about some of the historic African American sites in Montgomery County, because we just might be in that neighborhood later this year.
There is quite a bit here. We actually have a heritage tour ourselves, and right down the street from me is the Josiah Henson Museum, which is the location of a former plantation, believe it or not, 5 minutes from my office. There's a lot that was going on here that people need to know about, but well, it's all good. It's moving in the right direction.
Wonderful. Bill, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All righty. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
All righty.